watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted Best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Desert View Hospital. You can count on us.
Hi, today is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. Happy New Year. I'm Missy Kohler, and welcome to News 25. 3 vehicles collide on the highway early Tuesday evening. News 25 reporter David Preston has the story.
Jason Ernest of Mount West Lawyers. Don't be bullied by insurance companies. Call me, 775-727-9500.
A 3-vehicle crash happened at approximately 4:50 p.m. on Tuesday on Highway 160 northbound, just north of Tacoma Road. Nye County Sheriff's Office, Nevada Highway Patrol, and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived at the crash site. According to the report, the cause of the crash is unknown, which involves a pickup truck and 2 separate hatchback vehicles. According to Fire Chief Scott Lewis, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue medically assessed those who were involved with this accident, and nobody required medical transport. Both northbound lanes of 160 were shut down during the investigation and cleanup. Weather conditions did not appear to be a factor in this crash.
Las Vegas Metro Police are currently investigating a shooting at an apartment complex, which leaves 1 dead and a teenager injured. RJ Camacho has the details.
On January 2nd, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department announced that they were investigating a shooting that resulted in the death of 1 that occurred in northwest Las Vegas. According to police, the shooting occurred around 9:41 p.m. in the 2200 block of North Terry Pines Drive near West Smoke Ranch Road. Officers who reported to the scene conducted a search leading to the second-story apartment unit, where they found a male victim who was suffering from a gunshot wound. The man, who was believed to be in their 20s, was pronounced dead at the scene by medical personnel. Furthermore, officers were alerted by Mountain View Hospital that a male teenager was suffering from a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. After arriving at the hospital, it was determined that the teenager was shot at the same apartment complex as the other deceased individual. According to a preliminary investigation from officers, it was stated that several subjects were inside the apartment at the time of the shooting. However, the cause of the incident or any altercation that happened remain unclear as LVMPD continues to investigate. However, the LVMPD has assured that there doesn't seem to be any outstanding danger to the public.
The 3 suspects involved in the recent Nye County Sheriff's Office pursuit have now been identified in addition to their charges. Sam Roberts has the update.
On December 31st, a pursuit took place that resulted in the arrest of 3 individuals. The pursuit began on Blagg and Bell Vista. NCSO deputies attempted to conduct a traffic stop on the suspect's vehicle, but the suspect then allegedly began to speed up in an excess of 100 miles per hour. According to the declaration of arrest, the driver of the vehicle, Rebecca Woolard, nearly hit 5 different vehicles. Woolard then ran a stop sign, resulting in the vehicle skidding into a ditch at Country Place and Klein Street. The officer was able to pin Woolard's vehicle between the officer's vehicle and a dumpster. However, she was able to free her vehicle from the pin and continued driving recklessly onto Highway 160. The chase led deputies northbound on 160 towards US 95, where Woolard's vehicle collided with the officer's vehicle when Woolard allegedly slammed on her brakes, causing the officer to lock up their brakes as well. Woolard's vehicle then lost control and came to a complete stop on the side of the road. Woolard was issued commands by the officers, to which she allegedly ignored and attempted to flee as well. However, Woolard was taken into custody and then flown to UMC Hospital for her injuries. The vehicle that was being driven by Rebecca Woolard was allegedly reported stolen out of Las Vegas and contained multiple different retail items that still had their security tags. The other 2 passengers, identified as Deandra Lazarotto, and Cassie Cisneros, were also in the vehicle but refused medical treatment. The three suspects were booked into the Nye County Detention Center under varying charges for each suspect. Rebecca Woolard, the driver, is being charged with 1 count of disobeying a peace officer and endangering others, 1 count of possession of a dangerous weapon, 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug without prescription, 1 count of failing to stop while under the influence of alcohol and or a controlled substance, 1 count of under the influence of a controlled substance, 1 count of battery on a protected person, 1 count of possession of a stolen vehicle, 1 count of possession of burglary tools, 1 count of stolen property under $5,000, 1 count of false statement to obstruct a police officer, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, 1 count of possession of a Schedule 3 to 5 controlled substance, and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. Deandra Lazarotto, one of the passengers within the vehicle, is being charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous weapon, 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug without prescription, 1 count of under the influence of a controlled substance, 1 count of possession of burglary tools, 1 count of possession of stolen property under $5,000, 1 count of possession of a Schedule 3 to 5 controlled substance, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. Cassie Cisneros, the other occupant of the vehicle, is being charged with 1 count of possession of stolen property under $5,000, 1 count of possession of a dangerous weapon, 1 count of possession of a Schedule 3 to 5 controlled substance, 1 count of under the influence of a controlled substance, 1 count of possession of burglary tools, 1 count of false statement to obstruct a public officer, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia.
2 airplanes crashed at a Japanese airport on Tuesday, resulting in the death of 5. Here's RJ Camacho with the story.
On January 2nd, 2 airplanes in Japan collided with each other on the runway at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. One of the planes was Japan Airlines Flight JAL 516, and the other was a Japanese Coast Guard Bombardier Dash 8 aircraft. The crash resulted in the death of 5 people aboard the Coast Guard plane, and all 379 people aboard Japan Airlines Flight 516 were able to get out safely before the plane was fully engulfed into flames. However, the pilot was the only one to make it out of the Coast Guard's aircraft. According to reports from officials, the Coast Guard aircraft was preparing to deliver aid to an area affected by a major earthquake. The Japan airline plane, which is also known as an Airbus A350, is the first accident to involve one, as it's among the industry's newest large passenger planes that entered commercial service back in 2015. John Cox, a safety consultant, stated that this is the most catastrophic composite airplane fire that I can think of. On the other hand, that fuselage protected passengers from a really horrific fire. It did not burn through for some period of time and let everybody get out. Takayuki Tsutsumi, the JAL managing executive officer, stated that the A350 was making a normal entry and landing on the runway. However, the cause of the collision has yet to be specified. Another executive officer with JAL, Noriyuki Anki, stated that the airline had received permission to land from aviation officials before the crash. Police are currently investigating the cause of the accident on the suspicion of professional negligence being at play.
A top Hamas leader is killed in Lebanon. We'll have that story for you right after the break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. This segment of the news is brought to you by John Air. For all your heating and air conditioning needs, call 775-751-2372.
Welcome back to News 25. Fears of the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas grow even more intense after a top Hamas leader is killed in a drone strike in Lebanon.
On January 2nd, Salah al-Arori, who was a deputy politician of Hamas and one of the founders of said organization, was killed in a drone strike in Beirut, Lebanon. Al-Arori, who was 57, was accused by Israel of masterminding attacks against the country in the West Bank, the second of Palestine's 2 territories, the other being Gaza. Al-Arori was also designated as a specially designated global terrorist with a reward of $5 million being offered for for any information regarding him. According to reports, al-Aruri was in an apartment building, hiding in plain sight, in the middle of Beirut's southern suburbs. While it was reported to be a political and security stronghold for Hezbollah, it was also a densely populated urban area. According to an anonymous Lebanese official, the drone attack appeared to have targeted one specific floor and was carried out via the drone firing missiles. The strike resulted in a Musharafi district and caused several neighboring buildings' windows to shatter. However, the killing of al-Aruri has sparked fears about the ongoing war spilling over into other regions. While it's unclear who the responsible party is for the death of al-Aruri, Lebanon's state-run news agency has blamed Israel, and Israel has yet to make a comment regarding the accusation. According to reports, Israel was on high alert today on January 3rd, preparing for a potential escalation with Lebanon's Hezbollah militia. With Hezbollah and Israel constantly exchanging fire at the Israeli-Lebanese border since the war began in Gaza. However, the Secretary General of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, has reportedly appeared reluctant to escalate the fighting any further. Hezbollah has been facing pressure as well to show support for Hamas due to the two militias being allies. Hezbollah has responded to the strike that occurred on January 2nd, vowing response and punishment for it. And according to Hezbollah itself, its fighters has carried out approximately 8 attacks against Israeli posts along the border. Lastly, a far-right finance minister in Israel recently made comments about voluntary migration for Palestinians from Gaza into other countries, which has sparked backlash from multiple countries, especially after the minister Bezalel Smotrich doubled down on his comments. Smotrich went on to X, formerly known as Twitter, to state that more than 70% of the Israeli public today supports a humanitarian solution of encouraging the voluntary immigration of Gaza Arabs and their absorption into other countries. A small country like ours cannot afford a reality where 4 minutes away from our settlements there is a hotbed of hatred and terrorism. However, Smotrich did not provide any information as to where his figures had come from. Not only that, but talks of moving Palestinians away from the only 2 territories they have left brings up a painful memory as well for Palestine's people. Back in 1948, during the Arab-Israeli War, where approximately 700,000 Palestinians fled, or were forced to flee, during the war that led to Israel's creation. So far, at least 3 countries have come out criticizing the comments made by Israel's finance minister. Germany, the US, and France have all come forth criticizing the comments. The foreign ministry spokesperson from Germany stated that Berlin rejects the comments made by the minister, stating that there must be no expulsion of Palestinians from Gaza. There must be no territorial reduction of the Gaza Strip. They also rejected comments made by Israel's national security minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, who stated that we must promote a solution to encourage the immigration of Gaza's residents.
Samantha Harris of Valley Electric is here to tell us about Operation Roundup.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Operation Roundup is a charitable giving program that rounds up your electric bill to the nearest dollar and donates the change to local charities through the Valley Electric Charitable Foundation. It is a voluntary program that customers can opt into at any time. Operation Roundup was started in 1989 by the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association and has been adopted by over 900 electric cooperatives across the United States. In 2021, Operation Roundup raised over $400 million for local charities. The money raised by Operation Roundup is donated to organizations within Valley Electric's service territory to benefit needs in our communities. Operation Roundup is a great way to give back to your community without even having to think about it. It is a small way to make a big difference. Here are some of the benefits of participating in Operation Roundup. It is a convenient way to give back to your community. It is a tax-deductible donation. The money used to support local charities that are making a difference in your community. You can choose how much you want to donate by opting for a flat amount monthly or by rounding up your change. You can opt out of the program at any time. If you are interested in learning more about Operation Roundup, please visit our website, vea.coop, under the Community tab.
Here's Mikey with your sports report.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports. Golden Knights were in Seattle on New Year's Day, taking on the Kraken in the Winter Classic at T-Mobile Park. Elvis has entered the building. Golden Knights dressed up as Elvis. That's cute. Also, the Kraken decked out in fisherman outfits before the game. Golden Knights were shut out 3-0. Seattle goalie Joey Decord recorded the first shutout in Winter Classic history in 13 iterations. Golden Knights try to snap their 3-game losing streak tomorrow against their Stanley Cup rival, the Florida Panthers. Raiders lost a close one on Sunday, 23-20, to the Indianapolis Colts. They play the Denver Broncos this Sunday for the final game of the season. Single match tickets for the new volleyball team, Vegas Thrill, are now on sale. Their first home match is February 15th against Omaha at the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson. Pahrump Valley Trojans wrestling team are at home this evening. The action kicked off at 5 o'clock, still in progress. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Coming up, we'll have your health report and the weather forecast, so stick around.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Thanks for staying with us. According to the CDC, lung cancer is the third most common cancer in the United States. And now researchers are studying a new blood test that could one day help with early detection. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Peter Mazzone explains.
I've been fortunate to be part of a couple of research studies looking at developing a blood test to help identify lung cancer before people get symptoms from it. So at an early stage when it's more easy to treat, more likely to be cured.
Dr. Mazzone says the studies looked at individuals with and without lung cancer who were also eligible for lung cancer screenings. Ultimately, they found success with two different kinds of blood tests. Both were able to identify a majority of the lung cancer cases. He says this is promising since current lung cancer screenings consist of a CT scan, and many people are not getting them done when they should, and those that do tend not to come back for their annual scans. He says a blood test could help solve that issue.
Another application of a test like this would be to identify folks who aren't currently screen eligible. They're not in the right age range, the right amount of smoking, but still may be at enough of a risk for developing lung cancer that screening could help them.
Dr. Mazzone says more research needs to be done, but in the meantime, he strongly urges those who qualify for lung cancer screenings to get them done.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Felt like Mother Nature got up on the wrong side of the bed today. Quite an interesting weather day. John's got the full forecast coming up next.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, all up and down the Ace Country Radio Network, into your computer or mobile device anytime you want, 24/7 at www.kpvm.tv. Check out this weather map. Fernley and Fallon, weather twins at the top of the map, 41 degrees. Carson City didn't fare much better at 42. Tonopah, totally out of it. 33 degrees, you're the Cool Spot Award winner. Once again, I think you're going to be our perennial favorite as the winter season progresses. Goldfield, 39, 47 as we break out into Beatty. 53 is our hot spot in Amargosa, kind of in Las Vegas. No reason to be poolside at 50. It's 67 out in Death Valley. Here in the paradise of Pahrump. Well, let's take a look at our current temperature, 39 degrees. Wonderful stuff, kind of. 50 degrees just a little bit earlier. Winds out of the northwest of 14 miles per hour, and that humidity at 58%. Yeah, no wonder we had a little bit of a rain fest, snow fest just a couple hours ago. Crazy stuff. Sun rose this morning at 6:55, set this evening at 4:41. I don't know if the snow doesn't stick around. Do you really count it as snow? I mean, it was kind of there for a minute. It was like a hint of snow, a ghost of snow. But if you look up on the mountains, yeah, there's some evidence right there. 14-mile-per-hour winds this evening as we head down to a low night of 36 degrees. And tomorrow, well, you'd think you'd have a lot of clouds, but we don't. The next couple of days going to be sunshiny. Winds blowing those clouds and just away from us, I guess, at 17, 15-mile-per-hour clip. Saturday, Sunday, clouds come back with a vengeance, and we're going to have a bunch of wind on Sunday, 20-mile-per-hour average gusts, so that, we're going to see some 30, 40-mile-per-hour gusts here and there. Batting the hatches down. Monday, things calm down a little bit. Winds return to about 10 miles per hour. We get a sunshiny day in there, and temperatures in the low 50s late next week. It's winter. It's here. It's on us. What are we going to do about it? All right. I don't know. Back to the desk. Here's Missy.
Thanks, John. That's going to wrap it all up for us tonight here at News 25. We thank you so much for watching and wish you a good evening.